On the upcoming episode of Raw, we have a New York street fight between the Usos and the Vision. Could this be the return of Bron Breakker?
And over on SmackDown, we've been watching the MFTs versus the Wyatts for what feels like months now. Can we finally move on from these guys?
All this and more. Find out after the break. Our thoughts. All right, welcome back to this episode of WrestleStop. I'm Joe. This is Jeff here. Still a little sick, so I apologize for the voice. Jeff?
It's all good, Shooter. Alrighty, well, we opened it. We're talking about the MFTs and the Wyatts. You know, how long can they drag this together? WWE has a ton of good tag teams, particularly on SmackDown. Why do they have these two going back and forth for so long with the tag titles, and then they lose it to a made up tag team? Dude, what's going on here?
The only thing I can think of, and this is me thinking, right? And that's trouble usually, is they don't have a direction maybe for the MFTs, because the MFTs is a faction, right? It's 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
The Wyatts are a faction. It's 5 guys called the Wyatt 6. And they just don't have a solid direction for either team. So instead of giving them a new storyline to work with or new teams to work with, they're just, let's just throw these guys together and hopefully something works.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just SmackDown has so many good, solid tag teams with the Motor City Machine Guns and Fraxium. And I mean,
Sorry.
They're at least
you said good tag teams.
They're at least established tag teams.
Okay, all right.
For a made-up tag team to come out of the works like Damian Priest and R-Truth to wrestle 2 or 3 times and then win the tag titles, it makes the tag titles seem like a joke.
No, I agree. It is very strange. You know, you got the MFTs and the Wyatts, like you said, they're fighting back and forth for this. You have teams like Fraxium and, you know, I'm not being like brand agnostic. Is that the right word? But you have, you know, established tag teams, like you said, you know, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium.
You got the Los Garzas. You had DIY before Ciampa left. You had the Street Profits, haven't been on in a while, but at one point,
Street Profits were.
Last summer we had a 6 tag ladder match that was absolutely crazy. It was a great match.
Yeah, and I feel like the tag team division is seriously hurting right now. And you can especially see that when you see them putting together random tag teams, Priest and Truth. Now, I know they have history back from Judgment Day.
But it was
stuff
gimmick
like that.
History. What, are they going to throw Danhausen with somebody he cursed next? I mean,
maybe that's his new faction. All the people he's cursed. I don't know.
You had the same thing on the women's side when Io, Sky, and Rhea had the titles for about, a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Going back last year, Cody and Jay teamed up and won the men's tag team champions. I mean, you put 2 stars together to make up a tag. I get it happens once in a while, but not to win the titles.
No, I agree. I can see it happening for like crowd fair.
Yeah.
To make the crowd, pop and stuff like that. Because you got 2 big stars coming together. But for them to just come together and then immediately win the title is very strange.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense. I think it makes the tag team division seem very weak.
Yeah, it does. And, it's if they're going to make the tag team titles weak, they just reestablished 2 separate tag team champions, 1 on each brand, but they're not doing anything with either of them. And at that point, just reunite it back into 1 tag teams and let the champions go back and forth like the women's, so you don't have to defend 2 different championships with a weakened division.
Who had the joint tag teams before, Jeff? Or the joint titles before?
At one point, the Usos had it, but they were going around,
Bloodline
back together.
We talked about
doing
that.
It big.
Bloodline going back together again.
Reunite it, baby. Make it feel so good already.
All right. Next topic, Jeff. You're making this weird.
Speaking of bad tag teams, bad factions and all that.
This one hurts.
Last SmackDown, Jade Cargill came down to confront Rhea Ripley. And did I say something wrong? You're looking at me funny.
I'm just looking at you.
Jade Cargill came down to confront Rhea Ripley, and Michin and B-Fab came down as she was walking out of the ring, and you thought that they were going to attack Jade Cargill. And then they turn around, and the 3 of them attacked Rhea Ripley, just completely out of nowhere. But could they have given Jade Cargill a worse faction? I mean, she's already not the greatest wrestler, but did they give her 2 other bad wrestlers to round out her faction instead of helping her?
Yeah, let me apologize to the people first up front who call me out for hating.
Hater
our channel. I try not to. I truly do like wrestling. I truly do like WWE. I just want to see them do well. I want to see the wrestlers do well. But yeah, Jade Cargill, B-Fab, and Michin is not something that I'm going to buy a ticket for.
No.
That is a mess
An
in
absolute
every
mess.
way. I think Michin of the three
It's probably the best.
probably has some potential. I just don't know what kind of gimmick, because they just keep her in the same gimmick. She carries around a kendo stick.
And they've never tried to make her a serious wrestler. You say gimmick, she's always had silly gimmicks like the long back attack, all kinds of,
Or when she fought Chelsea Green, and it was like the dumpster match.
Yeah.
And it was always just weird stuff like that. They never really
gave her a legitimate push.
Seriously. I don't know. I think this whole thing is a mess. This proves that, Jade Cargill, she had to have something in her contract that said she's going to be hold a title by this time or whatever, right?
So are they doing this as a legitimate way for her to win over Rhea Ripley, or are they doing it to make Rhea Ripley look that much better come WrestleMania time?
I can't see B-Fab and Michin turning the tables on Rhea Ripley. I just don't see it. Rhea Ripley could probably easily beat all three of them. If
3-on-1 with a kendo stick?
With a kendo stick.
That's at least 4-on-1.
I think Rhea Ripley still wins that match. I don't know. It's kind of it's just very weird. I think there were probably better options, but if you want to talk about, weird stables and things like that, and I can't think of a bunch right now, but the first name that comes to mind is Retribution, if you remember them. Mustafa Ali, which also included Michin.
She's just cursed.
Yeah, she's cursed for
Maybe
these
Danhausen
awful
cursed
factions.
her 5 years ago or so.
Just factions that I don't know if WWE thought they were going to be huge, and they thought they were going to be this big changing thing, right? This change. Hang on, there we go. But it just didn't work out. And this one's not going to work out either. I don't know if Jade Cargill is just going to immediately turn on them and just beat them down and make them look more pointless. But
real quick at the end, doesn't it also make Jade Cargill look weak? They've been trying to make her out to be a beast. They've been trying to make her out to be unstoppable with her physique and everything and make her more of a power wrestler. But now she has to team up. if they wanted to put her, I don't want to say put her over, but if they wanted to legitimize her, have her beat Rhea Ripley one-on-one at WrestleMania.
There might be riots in the streets.
There might be, but whatever. We can move on.
I know what you're saying. We can move on when I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Not ready.
Betty's not ready yet.
Betty's not ready. They can. I just broke something. Having her win against Rhea Ripley, I think, while I wouldn't put it past them, I don't think it should happen.
No. God, no. I'll be extremely disappointed. It might be the most disappointing match outcome I've seen since I started watching wrestling again about 5-6 years ago.
And I'm not sure how Rhea Ripley's going to even carry that match. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they're practicing. I don't know how wrestling practices go. Do they practice for their match? I have no idea. But
alrighty. Well,
anyway, Jeff.
Yeah, let's move on from the speaking of the dumpster match, the dumpster end of the WWE right now, and we're going to move on to the Hall of Fame end of the WWE. So the 2026 class, they added somebody new this week, but to date we've got Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, Axe and Smash from Demolition, Dennis Rodman, Psycho Sid, and this week announced Bad News Brown. Thoughts on any of those? Who you think's the most deserving, or any thoughts on any of the individuals named?
Most deserving, it's obviously AJ Styles. I've been a big fan of AJ Styles. I know me and you have gone back and forth in past videos. I think AJ Styles is very deserving of it. Should he have been put in this soon when there's other wrestlers I think should be in it that aren't?
Like who, Joe?
Like who, Joe? Bray Wyatt. Why is he not in there? I don't know if they're waiting for something particular or whatnot, but Bray Wyatt should be in there. His whole faction, the Wyatt family faction, should be in there. Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. I'm missing somebody.
Was it Eric Rowan in it back then?
Oh, Eric Rowan. Yeah, that's who I was missing. That whole faction should be in there. And then Bray Wyatt individually, and probably Luke Harper as well individually.
Yeah.
That I think AJ Styles deserves it 100%. Why the Wyatts aren't in there yet, I have no idea. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, most other sports have like a 5-year plan where like you retire and you got to wait 5 years. That way, in case you decide to come out of retirement or whatever, or just so they have a class and established and they know who they're going to vote on. But again, WWE's made up. It's scripted.
It's real to me, man.
It's real to me too. I love it too. But I mean, speaking of too soon, isn't it kind of too soon for Stephanie McMahon? I mean, I guess she's not on the air anymore, but she's not.
It can't be too soon for Stephanie McMahon if it's not for AJ Styles.
Well, that's what I'm getting. I'm just using that as a transition. I guess she's not really a part of WWE anymore. She stepped back. She's got her talk show or podcast she does. She doesn't really ever appear on air other than to make some major announcements at some of the PLEs. But it is kind of awkward to put yourself or have your husband put you in, and maybe they're not a part of the decision.
Problem. I think that's like the whole optics of it, right? Is you have, her husband Triple H is kind of, he's not in charge, but he's in charge.
Yeah.
And then his wife gets put into the Hall of Fame. It seems weird. I do think she probably deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I don't know the process, but it could be somebody else nominated her and it got voted and they were unaware of what was going on,
Yeah, I think it just looks weird because of who her husband is.
So, but yeah.
But who I'm very happy to see on that list is Psycho Sid. I was a big Sid Vicious, Sid Justice fan back in the day.
That's another guy we can disagree on. It's somebody I just never, he was huge. I something about it. He always seemed awkward on camera. Like he just didn't seem comfortable in front of the camera. He didn't seem comfortable talking. Did he seem awkward
or did his bones just break funny?
Stop. I don't want to think about that again.
Maybe I should put that up. I'm going to put that clip up.
No.
I'm going to put that clip up. And hopefully YouTube doesn't ban me.
Please put a warning up there so all the little kids and all the sensitive people.
I'm going to put a thing up that says this episode is super family friendly, and then just post nonstop Sid Vicious's leg just snapping like a pencil.
Alrighty, well,
that's what I'm going to do.
Can we move on so I can think about something else?
Sure. You want to talk about this one? It's almost as bad.
Alrighty. Well, speaking of Hall of Famers, looks like Tom Brady and the rest of the NFL are going to invade the WWE. What's going on there?
Thought there was gonna be more to that. Just the Tom Brady and Logan Paul have been doing a lot of trash talk back and forth. Tom Brady said, and if I can find them, I don't know if I can or not. I'm not going to promise it, but if I can find them, I'll post them up somewhere. Probably down in my new little box that's down there.
Check out the box that rocks.
He has said some very unflattering things about WWE wrestlers.
It started with Logan Paul saying that the NFL isn't as hard as everybody says it to be, and he could go to the NFL and can't remember if he said he'd be one of the best quarterbacks or wide receivers of all time, that he could do what they do.
Yeah. And then Tom Brady responded and started talking trash back about how fake the WWE is. But then you got like a bunch of wrestlers. Obafemi commented on it. Some other ones I can't really remember off the top of my head right now commented on it. I think there was even some other NFL people who started commenting the other way.
They were just in that flag football game last week together. Yeah, it was supposed to be over in Saudi Arabia, and that got canceled with everything going on. But it happened here.
It happened here. Yeah. And Logan Paul dominated.
Yeah. Yep. I see him take down the quarterback from the Eagles. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Jalen
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Yeah. I don't count him as a quarterback, but yeah.
He's fast. He can run. But I know we're going into WrestleMania season, so that's what this is all about.
Yeah, and I think what this is probably leading to is going to be some kind of weird angle at WrestleMania. That's what everyone thinks, right? I'm not the only one. This is not a Joe Stradamus prediction, because I think everybody thinks this. It's leading to a angle somewhere. Tom Brady's probably going to bring some of his guys from the NFL over to confront, and maybe he's going to cost whatever match Logan Paul is in.
Because we had the Eagles a couple years ago. Jason Kelsey interfered in one of the matches when they were in Philadelphia. I think it was WrestleMania 40. I don't remember the exact match, but Jason Kelsey got involved in the match.
So I can see something like that happening for sure.
Yeah, and there's a history of NFL being, mixing with the WWE going back to I think it was WrestleMania 2 or 3. There was a 20-man battle royal that had a bunch of NFL guys in it. The Refrigerator Perry was in it. You got Mongo Michael McMichaels from WCW as an ex-player. Lawrence Taylor, I think, was either in WCW or WWE. So there's been crossover over the years where the athletes want to be wrestlers and the wrestlers want to be athletes. So
yeah, and it's leading to something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's leading to. There was, I don't know if anyone watches Logan Paul on YouTube. I do. I'm a fan. I don't know if anyone else does. But he did show some clips of that flag football game, and you could see that him and Tom Brady were just playing around. You could see it. Excuse me. Like I said, I'm sick. I apologize. Tom Brady would like throw the football at him or something like that, and they would both be kind of like laughing and doing whatever. So there's definitely a storyline brewing there. I don't know what it is. I don't see Tom Brady wrestling because the wrestlers would just throw him out of the ring. But I do think there's something.
Yeah. Well, moving on from Tom Brady, from Boston over to New York, the biggest Boston rivals. Next week on Raw, we've got the New York Street Fight, the Usos and the Vision. I'm pretty sure it's for the heavyweight or the tag team titles. What are your thoughts? You got any predictions? Any Joe Stradamus there?
This is where Joe Stradamus comes in.
I thought he was showing up tonight.
He is going to show up tonight. I didn't want to let my fans down. I know there's at least one of you out there. So I think on the Monday video, when do our videos come out? Our Wednesday video.
Yes, Wednesday.
I mentioned that they made it a New York Street Fight, so Seth Rollins is probably just going to interfere anyway, right? Because that's why they do those kind of things. But then I started thinking.
Nostradamus went to work.
I brought out my crystal ball, and I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, Seth Rollins is going to interfere in the match, but who's going to come out to thwart him?
Who's that?
Bron Breakker makes his valiant return at the New York Street Fight in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I've seen the rumors that he's been in the Performance Center getting ready for a return.
Getting ready. I think this is a perfect time to bring him back. Now, which way this goes from here? Does Seth Rollins cost the Vision and the Usos win and retain their titles? Or does he try to cost the Vision, but Bron Breakker stops him and the Vision win the titles? Either way, this leads to a Seth Rollins Bron Breakker WrestleMania match, which is where all the rumors have led, which people think is going to happen anyway. And then it could also lead to the Vision versus the Usos.
I mean, that's the only storyline that makes sense right now is the Usos versus the Vision for the titles at WrestleMania, whether the Usos maintain and take them to WrestleMania or they lose it to the Vision this week. And then they get their rematch at WrestleMania. But yeah, that's definitely where they're building towards some sort of the match there. And then, let's hope for a Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker match at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins is my favorite wrestler right now. I know before Obafemi came around, Bron Breakker was probie your favorite wrestler at the moment, or at least up there with you. You were really.
I like Bron Breakker. No, I think because he's exciting to watch. Yeah, because he's like a weird chaos energy, and it's.
Him and Seth both they're just chaos. Two little balls of chaos. They're going to blow up at WrestleMania. So
So I don't know. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. And is it going to happen? I don't know, but I do think this is the perfect time for Breakker to come back if he is as healthy as the reports have stated. Yeah. Hopefully he's good to go and come back because that gives the WrestleMania another solid match because some of the matches that we have.
Yeah, there's some matches that are odd. There's some big name wrestlers we don't know what to do with just yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds. Yeah. I was just getting ready to say, how does LA Knight fit into all this? Maybe will he be a guest referee in a match on WrestleMania?
I mean, that's an option too that we haven't even discussed.
I hope not. But speaking of LA Knight and not having a match at WrestleMania. We've got some other people that Gunther doesn't have a match yet. But before we get there, we're going to talk about our version 3 of our WrestleMania match predictions. And we're going to start out talking about the confirmed matches one more time. We've got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. We've got Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. We've got Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. And we've got Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer. Those are all announced. Also announced recently was AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch and Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. So these are the matches that the storylines are going toward. They haven't been officially announced, but we're 99.9% certain these are going to be announced in the coming weeks and will happen at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu, Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor, El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano for a winner goes home or loser goes home or mask for mask, some sort of
masks,
fight, match there. Division versus the Usos we mentioned earlier. Looks like they're going to set up some sort of a match between Julia and Tiffany for the U.S. Championship. And then looks like Carmelo Hayes is going to defend his U.S. Championship against Dragunov at WrestleMania. Some outside chances matches we're putting together based on current storylines. We're not as convinced, but we're trying to put these wrestlers in matches.
Because they deserve to be in matches.
Yeah. You want to talk about these?
Do you want me to talk
Go
about
ahead.
them? All right, I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about that. You've talked too much. You take a break. So first up, we got Penta. Where should Penta go? The only place we could see him going at this point anyway is with Dragon Lee. Trick Williams, he needs to be on the card because he is a fan favorite. The only place that, Jeff had to twist my arm on this one, but Sami Zayn. Were you going to say something?
It's maybe Aleister Black thrown in there somehow. But
Yeah, I feel like Aleister Black should be involved. Maybe it's going to be a Trick versus Zayn versus Black. Something like that.
But
maybe.
Trick has been harassing Zayn the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's true. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Seth versus Breakker, which we mentioned previously. We're kind of trying to figure out where Truth and Priest with their new titles fit into all this stuff. Let's just add them to the MFTs in the Wyatt 6. So we got Truth and Priest versus the MFTs versus the Wyatt 6.
Run it back.
Why not? You have the Irresistible Forces versus Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair. Well, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus the Bella Twins versus Bayley and Valkyria. This is something we've been predicting, I think, since version 1.
Yeah, that's been there for a while.
It just makes sense. But then those are the matches that maybe 40%.
40. Some of those are
30, 40%,
some are higher than
a
others.
little higher than others, yeah. But then who's missing? Who's missing, Jeff? Who's missing from this list? These are some big names that are missing.
Some of my favorites, like Asuka's missing, Kairi Sane. I know some of your favorites. Aleister Black, Gunther, LA Knight, our boy Javon Evans, Bouncy. He's got to bounce all over WrestleMania. And then Raquel Rodriguez hasn't been announced with anything, and Io Sky. Those are the big names. There's a couple other smaller wrestlers, but those are the major players that I would expect to be in a big event like a WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's strange that they haven't been announced yet. I guess we have 3 weeks left?
Yeah, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks or so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's
3
I don't want to say there's plenty of time, but we're on the border right now. They need to start doing this so they can start building up these feuds, these storylines to make these matches actually mean something at this point. Something we talked about. I think we talked about it last time. Put Gunther and LA Knight together.
2 big stars. You got a face and a heel.
Of all of the names on that list, those 2 need to be on the card.
Yes.
The rest, you can maybe squeeze in here or there, make a triple threat with somebody, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
But Io Sky, Asuka. I mean, there's some easy matches to make here. They just have to build the storylines behind them. And they got 3 weeks to do it.
Yeah, so let us know your predictions. If you're thinking we got something wrong, let us know. Let us know in the comments. We like that type of feedback. If there's anybody you want to see added to the WWE Hall of Fame, anybody that you think has been overlooked. Joe is waiting for Bray Wyatt. Who do you think needs to be in that hasn't been announced yet, whether this year or in coming years?
Yeah, let us know down there. Anything else as far as news goes?
Not real news. I mean, we've got
crispy
Friday
episode.
Well, we announced on our last show that come Clash in Italy, we're going to try our first live stream. So we can't stream the PLE. We'll be watching it live on YouTube and chatting with anybody who wants to show up and chat with us. So please show up so we're not just sitting here staring at each other all day.
And drinking.
It gets very boring.
Jeff's a drinker.
Just a little bit.
So, other than that, though, we appreciate you guys. We're at, 300 and something subs. 327?
323. I think 327. I think that's right.
327 subs. So we appreciate you guys for that. Thank you. Let's keep growing. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already. And then leave a comment down below like the things Jeff said. So thank you guys. We appreciate you. And we'll see you guys on our next video on Wednesday. Well, you'll see me on Monday, but you'll see our video on Wednesday. Thank you.
Give him the gun, shooter.
Thank you for watching another episode of WrestleStop. If you liked what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You can reach us at any of the addresses on screen. And there's a couple extra videos here on the screen. If you liked what you saw, maybe you'll like one of these as well. Thanks for watching.